Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Have you ever committed to something really big? Something maybe a little daunting, and well, for whatever reason, you found yourself keeping it secret, even from people you're really close to. It happens, right? Well, today on the deep dive, we're exploring this fascinating connection between secrets and, believe it or not, running a marathon. We're looking at one recreational runner's very personal journey. And we're diving into excerpts from a Substack piece. It's called Of Marathons and Keeping Secrets by Raghunath Jagannath. It's actually part of a bigger article, The Marathon Secret and Running's Joys.
Right. And that's what we're getting into today. Our mission, really, is to pull out the key insights here. It's not just about running a marathon, although that's the story. It's about those bigger ideas like commitment and how important a support system is, and, well, the universal lessons you learn from tackling any significant personal goal, especially when it involves navigating those personal boundaries, maybe some unexpected secrets. We think looking at a personal story like this gives us really valuable insights for our own challenges.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The author, Ranga Jagannath, he says he's a recreational runner and he was extremely conservative with his training. Before this marathon idea, his longest run ever was 30K. That's what, about 18.6 miles? And that was way back in 2017. He clearly remembers it as an epic struggle. So definitely not someone who just breezes through long distances.
And this is really critical context. He talks about this unwritten and unspoken code between him and his wife. Basically, an understanding. No distances that would, quote, take the joy out of running and result in pain and misery. The half marathon distance, that was sort of the latest unspoken boundary. Going beyond that, probably not okay.
Yeah, that boundary seems pretty clear, even if unspoken. But, well, he went and signed up anyway. For his first full marathon, the Airtel Hyderabad Marathon. And he actually tried to keep it a secret for many weeks and months, he says. He genuinely thought he hadn't spilled the beans. But then, as it got closer, he admits to using subtle hints, white lies, even sidestepping questions, kind of dodging the topic when asked directly about the event or the distance.
Yeah, the classic avoidance strategy. But what's really insightful is his realization later. He says, nothing misses the eagle eye of the misses. He figures she probably knew or suspected and just played along. And he actually apologized later for the misery and anxiety he felt he'd heaped upon the family, which led him to this really key takeaway looking back. It's best to involve the partner and take them in confidence while attempting something that is out of the ordinary. And that does raise a big question for you, the listener, doesn't it? What is the importance of bringing your key support people into the loop on these big personal goals, even if they feel like they're just your thing? What changes when you let them in?
That's such a good point. The dynamic shifts completely, I imagine. So once the secret was, let's say, less secret, or maybe once the sheer enormity of the distance and task hit him, as he puts it, he knew he needed help. He had to find experienced runners to talk to learn from. And this is where the story gets really interesting, I think, the building of the support system.
Absolutely, because he didn't just rely on one source. He leveraged a really diverse network. He was already part of the Raramuri Runners in Bengaluru, found them hugely helpful. But he also tapped into this very large and talented group of runners from the alumni of school, his old school, Sainik School, Bijapur, so like multiple communities providing support.
And within those groups, he mentions a couple of key mentors, Sushil Chand, right? And especially Manoj Roy. He says Manoj really took him under his wings, guided him closely.
Oh, absolutely. Manoj sounds like he was just invaluable. His contributions were huge, covering everything. He shared articles, gave him a training plan. He even sourced gear like a Garmin watch and proper running socks, little things that make a big difference. Plus, invaluable information about nutrition and hydration, crucial for a marathon. The author's very clear. Without Manoj's constant presence and encouragement, he doesn't think he would have finished. And one more thing, Manoj insisted on getting heavy-duty sports massages from someone named Guru, whose magic hands and elbows and knuckles were apparently a huge part in getting him marathon ready. It really shows like a total holistic support system.
Wow, that's comprehensive. And it wasn't just the one-on-one stuff, right? He talks about the group aspect too, the torturous Wednesday trainings and the long runs on Saturdays with the Raramuri Runners. You can almost feel that shared effort, the camaraderie he mentions, pushing each other along.
Exactly. It highlights the sheer depth and variety of support he managed to gather. You've got practical stuff like gear and plans. You've got crucial knowledge on nutrition, emotional cheerleading, and physical therapy. It's more than just finding fellow runners. It's like he consciously built this personalized village around his goal. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What kind of village do we build or need to build for our own big ambitions?
That's a really powerful way to put it, a tailored village. So, okay, he gets through the training, he runs the marathon, presumably after coming clean to his wife. What did he actually, learn from it all? What were the big takeaways beyond just the running itself?
Yeah, he lists out quite a few key learnings, and they really do translate well beyond marathoning. First off, respect the distance, which for any challenge means respect the scale of what you're taking on, don't get cocky. Second, be true to your training and exercise schedule. Pretty straightforward. That's about discipline, consistency, showing up. And this one's great. Break up the distance into manageable chunks. He says, easier to think of running a 5K than the whole 42.2K at a time.
That's the classic strategy, isn't it? Breaking down huge goals into smaller, less scary steps makes the impossible seem possible.
Oh, absolutely. That applies to everything. Huge work project, massive home renovation. Focusing on the next small piece is often the only way to avoid feeling completely overwhelmed, right? It keeps the momentum going. Precisely. It's how you eat the elephant one bite at a time. And that connects to his next point, too. Do not underestimate the importance of pre, during, and post hydration and nutrition. On the surface, it's about running fuel, but underneath, it's about essential self-care and preparation for any long haul. You need to sustain yourself. He also makes a point to spare a thought and express gratitude to all those who've helped in the journey. That's a big one, remembering to acknowledge the village that helped you. And I really like this one for perspective. Recreational runners like me are just that, recreational. Let that be the guiding light. Leave the pressures of competition and timing to the pros. It's about finding your own joy in it, not getting caught up in external benchmarks.
That gratitude point really resonates. It's so easy when you achieve something difficult to think, wow, I did that. But pausing to really see everyone who contributed, like Manoj, Guru, the running group, it makes the achievement feel bigger and maybe less lonely, a shared thing.
Totally agree. It fosters humility and connection. And that leads nicely into another bit of wisdom. Do not over-strategize because, as he says, even the best laid out plans have a way of selecting the wrong day, time and place to go out of whack, which is all about being adaptable, resilient, rolling with the punches when things inevitably go sideways. He also advises, dream about race day, the finish line, the euphoria, sucking in the absolute joy of finishing what you started. That's visualization, right? Keeping that positive end goal firmly in mind to stay motivated. And finally, he circles back to the support system. Lean on the support of friends, family, and fellow runners and draw from their experiences. Use that village. And also be thankful to the force that you believe in, whatever that means to you, for letting you train and allowing you to show up and finish, which feels like a nod towards humility, acknowledging factors beyond just your own grit.
It's quite a list. And when you lay them all out like that, it's so clear they're not just tips for running 42.2 kilometers. They genuinely feel like a solid blueprint for navigating almost any major personal challenge life throws at you. Career changes, creative work, learning something new, all there at all. It all applies. So to wrap up this deep dive, we've really seen the vulnerability that can come with taking on something huge and personal. We've seen how absolutely critical building an intentional, supportive village can be. And we've unpacked some really universal, adaptable lessons about breaking down big tasks, staying resilient, and finding joy in the process, even if you started out trying to keep it all a secret.
Right. And the author leaves us with a really interesting thought. He asks, basically, is the full marathon, the 42.2K, the new unspoken boundary in his relationship? But then he wonders, maybe it's a secret that's already unraveled itself. And that really prompts a question for you, listening. What secrets, what challenging goals, maybe intimidating aspirations might you be holding on to? Things that could actually benefit from being shared, from being embraced and supported instead of kept quiet. What would it really take to let your secret, your big goal, unravel itself?
That's a powerful place to leave it. Definitely something to reflect on. We hope this discussion encourages you to think about your own unspeakable thresholds maybe, and the potential power in letting others share the journey with you.